Today I discovered the Bible isn't real. It's not real. It's a version of the Bible that various empires through history decided we should follow. The thing that we've believed in all of these centuries, like the last few centuries, the Bible that it's not real, guys. You know what? In order for me to even begin to express to you how insane this is, I need to tell you a little bit about my own journey that will give you an understanding of why this is such a big deal. You see, I'm African, as everybody who follows my platform knows. I'm African. And as an African, Christianity, if you're not Islam, if you're not Muslim, but a lot of Africans are Christian. A lot of black people are Christians from the Middle East. I mean, from the United States, North America, to the UK, to Africa, and so forth. Christianity is one of the biggest religions, and the reason is that both slave drivers, colonizers, and slave drivers utilized Christianity heavily to control Africans, saying that they were converting us. So, I've talked about this before. Now, the way that I usually looked at this was all purely based on taking the Bible and manipulating what is in the Bible to serve their purposes. That's the way I usually looked at it. I didn't look at it as the actual document itself was corrupted. The document is corrupted. So yesterday I was just bored doing my thing. And I don't know what possessed me. I think I was researching something else. And something came across my table, like my screen, about Ethiopia. You know what it was? I was doing a video on the Middle East and the true origin of the Middle East. And as I was researching that, then something about Ethiopia came up. And then we were talking about the Jews and African Jews, like something like that. And for some reason, you know how you're on the internet and then all of a sudden you start tumbling down this rabbit hole. So you're tumbling down the rabbit hole, and then I was like, oh, wait a second. What is this? There's Ethiopian Jews, and then there's like, where did these guys come from? And that they've always been there. And then you're talking about lineage and this and that. The next thing I know, I'm at this Bible, and it says that the Bible is fake. And I was like, what are you talking about? There are 81 books in the original Bible. There are only 66 in the King James Bible. Just let that marinate. 15 books are removed from the Bible that we've all been following. 15. If you remove 2 books, that's a big deal. 15 of them. And I was thinking to myself that this is insane. That can't be true. You see, the thing is, like, when I was young, people used to talk about this, and everybody makes it sound like it's some kind of conspiracy theory, like it's something not to even be spoken about. You see, because I grew up in a heavily religious community, heavily Christian community. And the idea of even questioning what the Catholic Church or the church is utilizing to preach is heresy. To even question it, like, you're not even supposed to even ask those sort of questions because they know best. So I never even followed up. So when people told me this stuff, I didn't even follow it up. They said that the books they deleted books. I'm like, okay, well, the church knows best. Okay. That's what I was thinking. Wow. Guys, this is actually serious. And I was questioning whether to even make this video because it leads to a very dark place. A very dark place. You see, I'm not Muslim, so I do not know what's going on in the Quran or what's happening in Islam. That might be a whole other set of stuff that's going on there. But I do know about Christianity. When I looked into this stuff, and believe me, guys, I actually started looking into this stuff. This is some of the craziest. This is the original deception. It's the original deception. Africans. Christianity came from Africa. It's not some white religion. It's black. It's African. It's a stolen religion. They stole this stuff. It was stolen. It's in the books. There's something called the 4 Ezras. Okay, so there's a number of them, and the 4 are the 3 books. I think it's like it's in the middle portion of it, right? Because there's multiple Ezras, and they were written by different empires over the centuries. But the middle part is the ones that actually came from the original Ethiopian book. When you read these books, it's about black people. It's about Africans. It's almost like a prophecy to the future because it was written after I think the first temple fell in Jerusalem, I believe. And a prophet wrote this book. It was written in code, basically. So they write in code because to even question the Roman Empire, you're going to be killed. So they would write it in code as if it's a dream, in metaphors, and in so forth. But they were directly talking about empire and the downtrodden and stolen people, a stolen tribe taken away and their home destroyed, and that God was going to return them to salvation and punish the empire. Do you know what this would have done for the slaves? Do you know what this would have done for the colonized? You couldn't preach this stuff to slaves. You couldn't preach this stuff to African colonized. You had to delete this. This is not where it ends. Because, and listen, you know what, which is why I said that this video is, this is the most important video I've made. It's got no editing. I'm just talking to you guys. I'm being real. This is the realest video I've made. All the stuff that we're playing fun and games in terms of like entertainment, in terms of politics, in terms of wars, in terms of what do they call it? Whatever the hell we're talking about. This is the original subterfuge. The Bible that's a billion people, I don't know how many billion Christians are out there, isn't real. Europeans created this thing to control the masses, not just black people, to control people. The Book of Enoch describes angels mating with humans. I don't think you understand the concept of that because Christianity, there's a separation between the angels and humanity. Like, angels do not mix with humans. Like, that's a fundamental principle. The angels existed, Lucifer fell. That is the only contact that we have directly with these beings. This book is saying that, nah, man, angels are roaming around in human form and they're actually mating. They mated with humans at a point in history. That means that humanity has direct access to the divine. You see, the concept of that is very dangerous to the Catholic, to Christianity in general, because it is critical that you maintain a separation for religion to work, that the conduit between the masses and God and the divine has to come through process. It has to come through some kind of structure that is filtered through the church, whereby the priesthood and all of these guys would decide how you can access the divine. These books are saying you can access the divine personally. Here's my count. You can access the divine personally. I've always felt this. I felt this, guys. I knew it. I knew it. That's what these guys are saying. You don't need imams. You don't need any of these guys to access the divine. That's why they had to remove these books. Now I'm looking at the Jubilees. The Jubilees about Genesis. Yeah, I was looking at that, guys. And the Jubilees is about so basically, you have revelations in the Bible. And the Jubilees is actually a more detailed account of the end of the world, of the end times, with an actual calendar, step by step, of exactly how it happens and the process. And this was directly against the Roman, which is essentially what became the Catholic Church, the Roman ideology of divine order, of how that was, basically what we have in Revelations now, of how it happens. The way that the Jubilees were is like, no, man, this is a step, but we've got a calendar. the calendar that we now use, we use I think it was 365 days. The calendar is affected by this because it's actually a different system that they were going on. Of course, listen, guys, I just found all of this stuff out, so it's going to take me a long time to even go through it. And as far as what I'm aware of, you can't actually find complete versions of the full, real Ethiopian African Bible. It's hard to find, because what it's telling you is that the Hebrews and everybody, they're black, like they were Africans. You see, this thing, it's so mind-bending to me because you can't fake this. So you can't call this Afrocentricity because this was written in bloody 80 AD CE. Like, what are we talking about? The beginning of writing. This is written. You can't fake this. So unless you're going to say that thousands of years ago they were Afrocentric, who was just pro-black and trying to lie about Africa, this is just the truth. You see, guys, we played ourselves. I'm trying to explain to you guys that we played ourselves as Black and African people. We played ourselves. When you allow some other folks to tell you your own history and tell you where you came from and to give you a religion when the religion is actually yours, and you should be defining it and letting them know what was going down in those booklets. You let them delete your booklets? You let them delete your booklets? You let them delete your booklets, and then you started following the booklets, knowing that there were original booklets out there. I've been played. I got played, guys. I've been following this stuff for decades. Nobody told the Mech. Nobody told the Mech what was going down, that these booklets were deleted. The Maccabean, the Maccabean 1 to 3. This, I remember this. So when I was reading it, this is when things got real. This is actually about resistance, fighting back. Guys, slave drivers cannot have these. You can't have a book like this in there. It's anti-imperialist. You see, that the Maccabean 1 to 3 is directly fighting against imperialism, against control by the higher powers, and saying that the downtrodden are going to rise up. Yes, and you know what? And again, guys, this is just stream of consciousness. There's so much, and I'm gonna make videos about. I'm gonna talk about this as I learn. I don't know this stuff, so you have to bear with me. I don't know it, so I'm just making this video as I'm learning it. Okay, so this is real. This is a real video. In these books, it actually also talks about David in POV fighting Goliath. You see, the way that we have it in the Bible, it's like a third person thing. But in these books, there's a part of this where it actually does it from David's POV. It actually does it from his POV, which is wild, because then it's like you're really going into the guy, the man, telling you what was going through his own brain when he was trying to fight Goliath and he was taking him out. If I'm not mistaken, I have to go in there to read it, but that was what I was reading when I started the process of going through these things. But I think the problem with the Maccabean is that it's so African. To have that in the Bible, it's really puts the rod down and says, listen, we're putting a compass down and saying that this religion came from us. So for white Europeans who were coming to Africa to colonize people and enslave people, it wasn't convenient to have that. For the Romans who were trying to conquer Carthage and North Africa, to start having a religion that you're trying to push, and in the book it's saying that bloody East Africans originated Christianity, that is insane. And also the fact that in the book it's talking about fighting you and taking you down, you're not going to have that. And the crazy thing about it when I was reading this stuff is that the allegory for it is insanely accurate. This is literally what has happened to Black Americans. You're reading this stuff, it is like somebody came to the future and wrote exactly what happened to Africa. There is a section in this book that talks about a woman losing her child and her child being lost, which is the lost tribe of Africa. The children of Africa had been taken away, and that those kids, the children that were lost to this woman, are going to be returned to her in a triumphant return. Guys, this stuff is crazy, man. This is the craziest book I've ever seen in my life. This is a prophecy. It's literally like a time machine. Everything that is in this stuff is actually happening. I think that it is just by fortune that I'm reading this now, because I grew up in a religion that lied to me. So for me to read this now, it is scary, because I'm looking at all my African brothers and sisters who are being misled. I'm looking at all my Black American, Black British brothers and sisters who are being misled. Like, guys, how are you going to read a book where somebody who has oppressed you has edited it to suit them? Has edited this thing to suit them and just said, you know what, don't read all of that stuff. It's not important. And every single book that they've told you not to read contextualizes it in your favor. What are we talking about? Who gives them the right? If this is the word of God, we're saying that's the word of God, right? Who gives you the right as a human to decide what parts of the word of God should be talked about? Who gives you the right to do that? Tell me that. Answer that question. Any of you Christians out there who are going to try and argue with me in this. What gives a man of flesh and blood the right to tell us what parts of the word of God we should listen to? I'm annoyed because I got played. That's why I sound like this. I got played. What gives you the right to do that? Do you know the impact that all of this stuff would have had on me when I was growing up if I knew all of this? if I was reading all of this? I know the Bible back to front. I don't want to tell you too much about my history, but let me just tell you that I know the Bible back to front. I didn't know about this. You see, the thing is, I did and I didn't. And that is the ignorance of this situation because I was told that there were deleted things. But because of my indoctrination, I refused to go and look into it because I thought it was a sin to do that. I thought it was heresy for me to question what the Catholic Church and what the church had told me was the Bible. And it is only to where I've come to today with this platform where I'm seeking truth that has forced me to go and look into this. And I'm saying that, bloody hell, you're telling me that the Israelites were black? You're telling me that the Hebrews were black? Are you serious? This stuff is in the booklets. And the thing is that they didn't even say the word black. That's the point. The concept of race didn't even exist back then. What they were talking about was the location of where all of this stuff was going on. And if you extrapolate that, you understand that if this stuff was coming, all the people were black over there. What are we talking about? My mind is blown, guys. My mind is blown. I can't believe it. Listen, the apocalypse of Peter is a horror story. It's basically a much more graphic depiction of what hell is like way more graphic of what hell is like. But it also says something that the church could not abide by, which is the concept that you're not condemned forever. So you could go to hell and you could, there is a potential for you to still be saved even if you're in hell. Which makes me think, how do we know we're not even in hell right now? How do we know that we're not souls of people who were damned? And that's the reason, because if heaven is what it's supposed to be, how is this not hell, the world that we're living in? If you want to get really esoteric with this, if you want to get really philosophical with this, metaphysical with this, psychological with this, emotional with this, temperamental with this. Guys, we're just having a chat. We're asking questions. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Wisdom of Solomon and Baruch, for it was too Jewish and too philosophical. That one was one I didn't even really get into, so I've got to even go into that as well more. But the African and Catholic Bibles actually preserved that one a little bit longer. I mean, it's out now, but that one is the one that survived the longest before it got wiped out. Listen, the Roman Empire, the Catholic Church Council of Trent, the Protestants, the British Americans, and missionaries, all of these guys through the centuries just were removing this stuff to suit them. See, the thing is, again, I don't want to get too personal with this, but this is a big deal to me. This is a really big deal. It's a really big deal to me. Because this is ridiculous. What? You see, this is the thing. If the stuff you deleted didn't change the concept and context of the Bible, I would still be like, you shouldn't do that. But I'm like, okay, maybe you edited it to make it shorter, to make it cleaner, to make it easier to see. When you're looking at things, you're like, oh my God, just one of these things, the Ezra's changes everything. The four Ezra's, it's a different concept of what the Bible is. Just put those four books back in. It's changed. Let alone the rest of them. Wow. The original Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, written in Ge'ez, which is an ancient language, is Aramaic and all this sort of stuff. It is not in existence anymore. And you have to go to Ethiopia to go and find this, and it's very hard to find. And to find it translated into English is even harder. And to find ones that aren't fake, because there's a lot of fakes floating around. You can't even find this stuff to read in its entirety anywhere, which is in itself crazy. That is crazy. You can't find the real Bible to read anywhere unless you go to Ethiopia and to particular clerics. It's not even that you just find it there. You've got to go to particular folks. You know what? Africa, we're doomed. We're doomed. This is why we can't fix ourselves. This is why we can't fix ourselves. The very religion that we are basing so much of what we do on is designed to stop us from finding salvation and the divine. We're finished. That's why we're fighting wars willy-nilly and just killing ourselves anyhow. Black Americans, that's the reason why what is going on over there is happening. That nonsense that they call black on black crime, which is just crime. All the ills that we have suffered as a people across the entire world, it's not a curse. It's because we've been blinded. The truth is there, but it's been hidden from us. I'm just scratching the surface talking about true African history. This is all part of it. It's because of me looking for true African history that I've come upon this. I just came upon this by accident, researching something else. I wasn't even looking for this. And the crazy thing is that I actually knew about this. I just didn't bother searching into it because I thought it wasn't worth it. I was like, oh. The people who know about this and who put it out there, it is put out there in such a way that it doesn't even make it accessible to random folks like myself. I'm nothing. I'm not a big deal. I'm just a guy on the internet. You follow me because you're like me, who are just humans, who are Africans and black people who want to know the truth. If you're white and you're on my channel, it's because you want to know the truth. We're just people. Latinos, Asians who are on my channel just want to know the truth. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm here. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I don't want to leave the world in lies because tomorrow isn't promised. And if I'm going to try and give anything to the next generation, I want to give them the truth that we didn't have. Because me finding this out at my age is a travesty. And hopefully the youngsters who are finding this out from this video or the videos that I'm doing will have some benefit for you. Because nothing is going to happen. Like me saying this, it's not like the Bibles are going to change tomorrow. Most people who hear this who are Christians are going to ignore it like I did, because I ignored it for decades. You know what I'm saying? There were people who talked like this when I was a kid and told me about this stuff. And I was like, yeah. And I kept following what I was following. So I'm not expecting any real impact. I'm not expecting any real impact. I'm not. But for the few of you that are going to take something from this, bloody hell, guys, what the hell is... Guys, we're finished. Africa, black people. When I made that video, why does it... I figured out why everybody hates blacks. This is part of the reason. I didn't even know this when I made that video. Now I do. This is how you're not going to hate people when the Bible you follow, which is followed by billions of people around the world, is designed to make you hate a group of people and make you think that a group of people don't deserve a damn thing because they didn't contribute to anything. The very religion you follow, you've stripped it of everything that could point to the divinity of the melanated people of Africa. You just get rid of all of that. So you can make Jesus white and be cool with that. Make the disciples white and be cool with that. You couldn't do that if these books were in the Bible. You would look like a fool. You're teaching kids that the Christianity came from Ethiopia and that they were Africans, but at the same time you're trying to make Jesus look like Kurt Cobain. The hell? This is so sad. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. There are... Lord have mercy. You know what, guys? I have my newsletter linked in the description. Please follow it. I will keep investigating and learning new things. I'll just learn what I learn. I'll let you know. This video is not going to go anywhere, I'm sure. The algorithm will not push this because I do not know what the hell I've said. I don't even remember what I've said. I don't remember what I've said in this video, but I've let you know my feelings, and it's very upsetting because I know it's not going to change anything, and my people have been led astray. That's the reality of it. Anyway, guys, all right.